Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Wonder Woman issue 800 followed by World's Finest issue 16. I'll now get things organised for the first one that I'll be covering in this video. So as you can see here, I happen to have 3 covers. And they're all variants for this particular review. I did not get any, I did not get the main, I chose to get the variants for this particular one, and also for the first appearance of Trinity, or aka Lizzo. So, moving into first things first, do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside with the story? The first one does. The second one also does as well. Not so much the third, but I do, or the third one does. The second one, not so much, but I really like the cover. So, for the first one, on the left-hand side with Yara Flor and also Diana Prince, I give a 7.5 out of 10. For the second one, I really like this one. This is probably one of my favorites. And not only that, it also reminds me of the Linda Carter Wonder Woman as to how it's presented. And I give it a 9 out of 10. And last but not least, we get the Lizzo cover. And hopefully I'll insert a picture at about this time. And this is what I sort of think of her. But this is now the rating for her, for this particular cover, which is a 6.5 out of 10. I'll now get things organised so we can cover the internal stories, to which there are 2 stories. So, jumping into the first story, we get a bit of artwork as to what's happening with Diana here. And we actually learn that Diana is sort of like stuck on an island, there for healing. And this is some of the things that she's seeing in her dream, or some of the stuff that she's seeing in her dream. We definitely catch up with a number of characters, including both Batman and Superman. This is the area involving Superman. And last but not least, the area where she recovers. So for the internal art, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I didn't really like it that much. I feel it could have been cleaned up a little bit more. But moving into the area of the cast, we had Yara Flor, we had Wonder Woman, Bia, Penelope, Hayaka, Donna Troy, Cassie Sandsmark, Darkseid, Batman, Superman, her mother, and we do end up seeing Nubia. For the overall story rating in this, I give it a 6 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the second story, which is by Tom King. Now, I think for this, I'll cover the whole story. So we start off with what's happening at one of the places to which the super sons of this particular future have been taken. And it's nice to see these characters working together, but not as villains, but as heroes. And I do like the complaint about Trinity being late. And, of course, Lizzo makes her appearance. Well, Lizzo, but thinner in character. And, of course, she's very obtuse. She's very unlikable. But if it's something else as well that I want to point out in the story, we move into the next area, to which they start to move in towards the trials. And something I really need to point out is that the Super Sons here are definitely out of character, and I mean completely out of character, especially in regards to Damien. Because if Tom King did his homework, And it looks like he hasn't done his homework. In technicality, Damien would probably know a multiple of languages, including Greek. Because one of the things that Damien was practically taught when he was younger, before he even met Bruce Wayne, is that his mother wanted him to be practically Alexander, or like Alexander the Great. So yes, no doubt that language would have been taught to him, not just the main language that the Ra's al Ghul family speaks, or the main languages that Ra's al Ghul or the Al Ghul family speaks. So of course there'd be English plus a number of other, and that's one big thing I really got to pull out. And I think personally, I think it would have been better to see this stuck-up Lizzo actually perform all 3 of the tests, but for Damien and John to be witness of her going through each of these tests. Of course, John gets given the pain test, Damien gets given the skill test, and the one who gets the easiest of all tests is, of course, Fat Lizzo. Oops, I mean, Thin Lizzo. And of course, when Fat Lizzo is finished taking on the last person in regards to honor, she moves into, of course, the prison area to speak to someone who is of some form of royalty, and to which we're left with the cliffhanger. Now, for the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Nothing against the artist here. But now it's time to move into the cast of characters, to which we had Damian Wayne Batman, Superman John Kent, and Big Lizzo just transformed into a smaller body, a thinner body. And of course we've got the character of Pain, Nike, and of course Pain, which was a bloody sculpture of sorts, and I think it was really terribly stupid. I think that there could have been a little bit more creativity put there. Of course we had the person who was taking the role of honor. Nike, I thought, was really interesting for this. But I still really think Lizzo here should have taken part in all 3 of the trials, not Damien, not John. Right? If she is of good character as she claims to be, it would have been better seeing her go through the trials. And yeah, I totally admit this character is unlikable. The thing is, do we really want her? If anything, I'd be asking for Yara Flor back. Get rid of this Trinity. So for the overall story rating, I give it a 6 out of 10. Now it's time to move into something that's actually a little bit better than this. So as we begin to move into the next one, World's Finest, issue 16. Does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move into having a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end, with what's happening with the story and the characters that make an appearance. So as the story begins, we have Flash saving Robin, who has a bit of an accident with one of the Batmobiles. And we also get the catch up with what is happening with Superman and Batman as they take on New Amazo. As the story advances, we get a little bit of help from some other characters making an appearance, including Plastic Man, plus Green Arrow, and members of the Justice League. And last but not least, we also get to catch up with the other members of the Justice League as it starts to move towards the conclusion of the story. For the internal art in this, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. First things first, did we get any comic references to any of the previous issues? No, we didn't. No, it probably wouldn't hurt to include it. Time, how this was referenced, we had later. The location that we had in the story that did make an appearance was Midway City. The cast of characters consisting of Flash, Robin, Batman, Superman, Toyman, New Mazo, Ultra Morpho, the Metal Man, Dr. Cyber, Bertram Lavin, Hawkman, Kalex, Cyborg Superman, Plastic Man, Green Arrow, basically some of the people who make up the members of the Justice League. We also had Firestorm, Supergirl, Metamorpho, and last but not least, Green Lantern. For the overall story rating in this, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.